I now want to talk to you more about using defaults. So scroll over to the left and click on Defaults. This takes you to the Defaults page, where you can fill out search parameters, repricing mode, algorithm, floor price and ceiling price. So let's say we wanted to set search parameters for all the current listings. Well, all we need to do is, depending on what search parameters we wanted to fill in, we would input the information here, and then all we'd have to do is click here, apply to all current listings, and then just click submit. So let's say I wanted to set a search parameter of minimum price $4, and then I would just click on apply to all current listings and click on submit. When you set search parameter defaults and apply to all active listings, your prices aren't actually immediately updated, but any managed listings will have those new search parameters and they will use them on their next reprice cycle. Now, it gives you a message, successfully updated. So now click on Price Spectre main. So, the search parameter I've just set up has been applied to both of these listings. So let's click on Set Search Options. As you can see, my $4 has been placed in the minimum box. Now let's click on this Set Search Options. And again, my $4 has been placed in the minimum price box. So this way, all you have to do, if you have 50 listings, you don't need to go one by one. All you have to do is go in Defaults, set the search parameters you want to set up, click on Apply to all listings and submit. And it's done for all listings. So now let's try setting some more defaults. I'm going to set a minimum price. Let's say $4. And I'm going to exclude some sellers from the search. So I'm just going to put seller 1 and seller 2 for examples. And I'm going to apply that to all current listings. I'm also going to put minimum feedback of 10. And click on submit. So again, we get a successfully updated defaults. So now let's go back to Price Spectre main and click on Set Search Options. And we'll see the defaults that we've just put in. So I've got my minimum feedback of 10 and I've got my exclude sellers. I now want to go over with you how you can set default floor and ceiling prices. So go over to the defaults page, and if you scroll down, here is the floor price and the ceiling price, and you've got different types of default that you can set for them, the amount, percent and fixed. You've got to set both of these defaults separately by clicking submit for each one separately because they're two different defaults. I'm now going to do the ceiling price. I'm going to do a percent, and I'm going to put 15%. I'm going to apply that to all current listings and click on submit, and that's going to be 15% higher than bin. Scroll up and we get a message, successfully updated defaults. Now I'm going to do my floor price. I'm going to do an amount. I'm going to do $7 and apply that to all listings. And that's done as well. So now let's go to the Price Spectre main page. And as you can see, they're grayed out. And that is because the defaults that we just entered are being processed by Price Spectre, so you can't manually input anything here for now. So just wait a couple of minutes. After a couple of minutes, you can refresh the page, and you'll notice that it's no longer grayed out. You'll notice that our prices are within the ceiling and floor constraints. Go back to the defaults page, And I want to show you how you can get rid of defaults that you've set for all your current listings in these parameters. So if I wanted to leave out this minimum feedback of 10, I could just put 0. And again, for minimum quantity, I could put 0. Remember that these zeros are clearing these fields. They're not values. So I'll show you this by putting a 0 on maximum price. So you'll see that the 0 will clear the field and it won't be the maximum price of 0. And I'll set a minimum price of 3. And click Apply to all listings and Submit. Okay, now head back to Price Spectre main page and click on Set Search Options. And as you can see, my minimum price is there, but my maximum price isn't. That's because 0 clears the field, it's not a value. My minimum feedback has gone because I used 0 to clear that field. So remember, using 0 clears the field, it doesn't use the 0 as a value. I'm now going to show you that leaving a field blank doesn't get rid of the value that was in it. So go back to defaults. And we've got our minimum price of 3. Let's get rid of that and click Apply to all settings and Submit. Now click on Price Spectre main and click back on Set Search Options. And you'll see, even though I cleared this field, my $3 minimum price has not gone. It's still there. So clearing a field does not get rid of the value inside it. Let's have a look now at how to get rid of sellers that you have put in your defaults. So here I've got seller 1 and seller 2 and seller 3 in that listing. And in this listing I've got seller 1 and seller 2 and seller 3 again. I'm going to get rid of one of the sellers and just have seller 1 and seller 2 in that listing. Remember, you need to, when you make changes, you need to save and close. So now go to the shortcuts page and here you can exclude sellers. I may have other listings that I've set their own exclude sellers parameter and I don't want to overwrite it. So this is a great way for getting rid of one seller from all my listings. I'm going to get rid of seller 2 and remove. Now go back to Price Spectre's main page and click on Set Search Options. Now on this listing you can see that seller 2 has been removed, seller 1 and seller 3 are there. And in this listing only seller 1 is here because seller 2 has been removed. So remember, leaving a field blank or leaving a default blank doesn't mean it's getting rid of the default information that you might have put in last time. You have to use 0 to get rid of default information. And if you want to remove sellers from include or exclude sellers, you must use the shortcuts page, as I've demonstrated, since setting the field blank in defaults would result in no changes on your active listings. Head back to the defaults page, because I'm now going to talk to you about the automatic versus manual repricing setting. Okay, so now we're in the default page again. I wanted to go over and cover manual versus automatic repricing setting. So this is it here, and it's really easy to use. Basically, if you select the manual repricing, then price recommendations will be sent for all managed listings, instead of them being automatically repriced. Let me show you. So I'm going to select manual repricing and apply it to all my listings and click submit. I get a confirmation message and I go back to Price Spectre main and you can see this gears icon that was there before has been crossed out, indicating that repricing is now manual and price recommendations will be emailed to me.